Hi, welcome. I'm Arvik Melendez, registered dietitian, and today I have a delicious recipe of shrimp cocktail. So funny story, I've been looking for recipes that don't have to be reheated quick for lunch because my Samsung microwave broke. So this is the perfect recipe. You do not need to heat it up. It's a cold shrimp cocktail. So let's get started. I will show the ingredients. These are very simple ingredients you can get at any grocery store. I diced all of the tomatoes except for maybe 2 or 3, so this is about a pound, maybe a pound and a tomato. We also diced celery. We have some red onion, finely chopped so you don't have onion breath after lunch. We also have some cucumbers. You're welcome to use English cucumbers or regular cucumbers, and some cilantro. If you're not a big cilantro fan, no big deal. You can use parsley, but really cilantro adds a really nice flavor, so I would encourage you to use some cilantro. I'm gonna show you a quick trick with the celery. I like to cut it in half and cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. And essentially you have quarters now. At this point, I make nice strips just up and down the celery to make nice thin cuts. Remember to use the claw when you're chopping. That's so you can protect your fingers. But let's talk about the nutrients of these foods. Like, why this recipe? I mean, not only is it really healthy and delicious as the weather is getting a little warmer here at least, but it's also packed with different nutrients. Let's take celery, for example. It's packed with potassium, a very vital essential nutrient. It's an electrolyte that our muscles need to contract. So if you're working out, you need a little bit more potassium. If you're on a renal diet, then you might need to watch out for potassium. So pay attention to some of those recommendations. All right, so we have all of the ingredients chopped up. Now it's time to start mixing. You add your onion. Let's add our tomatoes. And this was cucumber, so now I'm adding the rest of the celery. This gives it a really nice crunch. Let's talk about the other ingredient, tomatoes. Tomatoes are packed with vitamin C, lycopene, which is really helpful for prostate health, but for everyone, vitamin C is essential in our body. The other ingredient, cilantro, is an herb. Like many herbs, they pack different nutrients, actually in high quantities. But since we don't eat it very much, then just a little sprinkle here and there can still give us some of those nutrients. I also like to put oregano. So you're welcome if you are an oregano fan to add some oregano. All right, now we're gonna add some avocado. Avocados are packed with vitamin E. And even though they are a fat, vitamin E helps lower our cholesterol. So even though avocados are very fatty, they can actually help lower your cholesterol. Cool, huh? All right, so I like to take the pit out and then make nice cuts. And then I go down the other side, being very careful not to slice my finger. We'll do the same thing on this side, very careful. And now we're gonna use a spoon and scoop it right out. All right, so we have one avocado. I have another avocado, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and slice it. This one feels a little bit firm, but that's okay. I still think we can have it just fine. All right, so now we're gonna talk about our star ingredient, the shrimp. Shrimp, like all seafood, is rich in protein. It helps lower our cholesterol. And in this case, shrimp is rich in iodine and B vitamins. Iodine is one of those minerals that we need to maintain our thyroid health. Everyone needs iodine. Of course, Iodized salt is a source, but I would prefer to obtain things on a more natural route instead of salt. So it's a great way to get that iodine, that healthy iodine through our diet. Seaweed, of course, since it's made from also a sea product, also is a good source of iodine. But for the most part, clams, mollusks, they're all good sources of iodine. All right, so it's looking really good. I'm gonna give it another mix and I'm gonna add the shrimp. We're almost done, guys. This recipe is a quick recipe once you have everything chopped. The chopping can get a little tricky, but if you have a food processor, that might make things a little bit easier. I wouldn't make salsa. I would recommend keeping it in chunks, just for the aesthetics of the recipe and to make it more of a meal, but you're welcome to puree things if you have one. All right, so now we're gonna add the shrimp, and I drained the fluids. I might add half because my bowl is a little too small, but you get the idea. All right. Now I'm gonna add ketchup. So this is the only, I guess, somewhat unhealthy item in here. Ketchup can have some sugar, but the way that I view it is this isn't pure sugar. There is some sugar. There's ketchup brands that are lower in sugar, so you're welcome to use that. I added about half a cup or so, and this is for the whole dish. So even though, yes, it might have 4 grams of total sugar for 1 teaspoon, it's still not that much when we look at the whole recipe. All right, so now we're gonna add some V8. This is original, but of course, if you're on a sodium restricted diet, if you have any cardiac issues, high blood pressure, then you might wanna choose a lower sodium option. But something really interesting about that, shrimp, as I mentioned, all seafood can help lower cholesterol. Why? Because shrimp, or in general, seafood have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. Shrimp are not rich in omega-3s, but salmon, tuna are. So if you increase those, that can actually help lower cholesterol. Our plasma lipids, or anytime you get your blood work, your doctor refers to your cholesterol levels. Well, we have different types of blood types that your doctor's looking at. The total cholesterol, we have HDL, and we have LDL. The HDL is basically a protein that surrounds cholesterol, and we want that high. H for high, so that's a good way to remember it. The LDL, we want that one lower. We want LDL lower. And basically both of those work with your liver to help lower the HDL, lower your cholesterol and prevent plaque, or can actually promote plaque, which is the LDL. So when dietitians or physicians or any healthcare professional is looking at those levels, we're looking at that ratio. We're looking at your level of LDL and LDL. All right, we're all set. The good thing is this recipe will help promote that good cholesterol because it's rich in fruit and vegetables, rich in seafood, rich in antioxidants, electrolytes, and not very much sodium. So the last ingredient I'm gonna add is our seasoning. This is Tajín, and an absolute must for this recipe. It's not spicy. I know it looks spicy, but this is dehydrated, basically paprika, and it does have some salt and a little bit of lime. Okay, we're all set. My family absolutely loves this recipe, and if you give it a try, I think you will too. Thank you. Come again.